Michael is the greatest player ever.
He probably is the best of all time, right? All-around basketball player. But when you want to say who's the greatest ever, it's still Michael Jordan. Now,
MJ, I think for me, it's MJ all day long.
Every generation crowns its top player, every era picks its king, but this one question, it's been tearing basketball fans apart for decades. Not a rivalry, not a single game, just one question. Who really is the greatest of all time? Stats don't settle it, not even close. Rings don't either. 6 championships get matched with 4 across 3 different teams. Scoring titles get hit back with assists, longevity, and playoff runs that stretch for 20 years straight. Every argument just opens the door to 3 more. Every stat gets challenged. Every highlight gets picked apart. And the reason this debate never dies isn't confusion. It's because both sides actually make sense. Jordan and LeBron stand as the 2 most complete players the game has ever seen. And the gap between them? It's razor thin. This debate isn't ending anytime soon. It's bigger than the people arguing it. The real truth doesn't come from fans online or analysts behind desks. It comes from the ones who lived it, the ones who had to guard greatness in real time, the players who walked off the court knowing they just faced something they couldn't stop. Fans can debate forever, numbers can be broken down all day, but none of that hits like real experience. Michael Jordan enters this conversation from a rare position. He's not just part of the debate, he is the debate. He's heard every argument for over 30 years, watched people go back and forth non-stop, and what he keeps coming back to isn't rings or scoring titles. It's how do you even measure greatness across different eras, different rules, different styles? And what stands out the most? What he doesn't say. He's not out here campaigning for himself. He's not tearing LeBron down. Instead, he flips the whole conversation. He shifts it away from numbers and into something harder to measure. Things like influence, mindset, and how you define your era while you're living in it.
Stories and getting hype, judging certain things. I won 6 championships. Bill Russell won 11. Does that make Bill Russell better than me and make me better than him? No, because we play at different eras. So when you try to equate who's the greatest of all time, it's an unfair parallel. It's an unfair choice. And I think, those are the demons that, obviously Tiger had to live with, and he's going to be challenged, and he's going to be graded upon that. But for me, I think they're both great. I would never say one is greater than the other. That's me, that's my opinion.
Okay.
It's about stepping into the biggest moments and owning them, not just surviving them. Jordan isn't saying the debate is useless. He's saying it's incomplete if you only look at stats. Dennis Rodman, he's not here for complicated takes. For him, it starts and ends with Jordan, no debate. And he's not just speaking off emotion, he lived it every day in practice. He saw that competitive fire up close, saw how intense it really got, and how it pushed everyone around him to another level.
I just think that if you look at Michael, the body work he's done over the years, you look at LeBron, the body work he's done over the years. How many years? 17 now, going to 18? Michael is the greatest player ever. Michael's been injured one time. He never asked to sit out. He never asked for anything, but only he asked for respect and money.
People laugh at the idea that Jordan could drop 50 a night in today's game, but Rodman isn't joking. He's pointing at real skills, elite footwork, deadly mid-range shots, and a game that would be even more dangerous now. Defense today isn't what it used to be. Spacing is wider, lanes are open, and that plays right into everything Jordan mastered. That full skill set, the pull-ups, the post game, drawing fouls whenever he wanted, all of it would hit even harder in today's league. And Rodman knows he battled that every single day in practice. He saw the work, the drive, the engine when no one else was watching. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar brings a whole different angle. He held the all-time scoring record until LeBron took it, so he understands this from a place nobody else can. He's not picking sides, not pushing Jordan or LeBron. He's looking at it like someone studying the blueprint of greatness itself. And his point is clear. Records alone don't define greatness. He says that straight up. But what LeBron has done over 2 decades, that's something the game has never seen before. Every legend had their run, their peak years. But LeBron stretched his so far it stopped looking like a peak and started looking like the standard.
That's just something we're not going to know about, But if LeBron breaks my record in this next year coming up, that will be one last record that I won't have to worry about ever again.
Kareem isn't handing out a final answer. He's asking you to really sit with that idea. What does it mean to stay at the top for that long, at that level, against that much change? Before you pick your GOAT, you've got to face that reality. Scottie Pippen's voice hits different in this debate. He didn't watch Jordan from afar. He was right there, practicing with him, traveling with him, feeling that pressure up close every single day. Nobody understands Jordan as a player better than the teammate who stood beside him through 6 championships.
LeBron James is a better basketball player. And here's why. He fills the stats up across the board, night in and night out. You're talking about a kid who can easily average a triple-double if he chooses to. I don't think Michael Jordan had that option.
You don't think he had that option?
No.
He could have done that, especially with you?
No.
Especially with you?
It's not his demeanor.
What Pippen keeps pointing to is something deeper. It's not just about how great Jordan was individually, it's about how he lifted everyone around him, not with speeches or hype, but with standards. The way he approached practice, film, every detail, it forced everyone else to rise or get left behind. Pippen gives LeBron respect for his longevity and versatility, no doubt. But when it comes to the biggest moments, the pressure situations where everything is on the line, he's choosing the player who never blinked, not even once. And in his eyes, that standard belongs to one man. Then there's LeBron James. Stepping into this conversation isn't just another opinion. It's the full circle moment this debate has been building toward for 20 years. He was just a kid watching Jordan, studying every move, every moment, building his whole game around what Jordan stood for. The mindset, the standard, the refusal to accept anything less than total control on the court. He said it over and over throughout his career. Jordan wasn't just someone he liked. He was the blueprint.
I did pretty much everything that MJ did when I was a kid. I shot fadeaways before I should have. I wore a leg sleeve on my leg and folded it down so you saw the red part.
For no reason.
I wore black and red shoes with white socks. I wore short shorts so you could see my undershorts underneath. But I did everything Mike did, man. I wanted to be Mike. And so for my name to come up in any discussion with Michael Jordan or Kareem and all these great guys that paved the way for myself and Tristan and Kev and Swish, it's just a wow factor. I don't really have nothing to say.
What makes his answer hit harder is the honesty behind it. He's not dodging the comparisons, not trying to distance himself. He's owning it. Every tough moment he pushed through, every time he refused to fold under pressure, that came from watching Jordan. That influence is real. The student didn't just learn, he turned into the name people now put right next to the teacher. And the fact that LeBron chased that level his entire career and actually reached it, that says everything about both of them. Magic Johnson sees this debate from a rare angle. He battled Jordan when the league was shifting in the late 80s, then watched LeBron come in and redefine what being complete really looks like for a whole new generation. Not many people can speak on greatness across eras like that. Magic's been a superstar, a leader, and a lifelong student of the game. So when he talks, it carries weight.
First of all, let's not take anything away from LeBron James, because LeBron James is a great basketball player, one of the all-time greatest that's ever played the game. LeBron James, to me, when you think about all-around basketball player, he probably is the best of all time, right? All-around basketball player. But when you want to say who's the greatest ever, it's still Michael Jordan. Now, LeBron James' chapter is not closed yet, right? He still has some basketball to play. So maybe he has a chance to catch him later on if he can get some more championships under his belt.
He gives LeBron full respect, no hesitation, and means every word. But the way Magic breaks it down, completeness isn't the same as dominance when it matters most. Because for him, the real question isn't who can do everything on the court. It's who had that presence, that killer instinct that made opponents feel like the game was already over before it even started. That's where Jordan stands out. It wasn't just skill, it wasn't just effort. It was that feeling that when the moment came, Jordan didn't just show up. He took over completely. And for Magic, that's the line that separates the conversation. Charles Barkley, he's never filtered his opinions, and he's not starting now. His stance on this debate hasn't changed, no matter how loud the conversation gets online. He's seen LeBron's entire journey, respects it fully, but when it comes to picking the top spot, Barkley doesn't hesitate. For him, this debate isn't still open. It's already decided.
I'm never going to say anything bad about LeBron, I told you. I think he's the third best player I've ever seen play after Michael and Kobe. It's just different eras. Al Johnson, he's more of a triple threat than Michael was. I'll agree with that.
He keeps coming back to one thing, intimidation. And this isn't theory. He felt it himself on the court. Barkley was one of the most powerful offensive players of his time, a force in the paint who dominated defenders. But even he admits, Jordan made it feel like the game was leaning his way before it even began. That presence, that pressure, that mental edge. Barkley believes that's something LeBron hasn't matched at that same peak level. And he's not talking about long careers or stats. He's talking about that exact moment when the other team already knows the outcome. Gary Payton brings a completely different perspective. A Hall of Famer built on defense known as the glove. Someone who made life miserable for elite scorers every single night. His view of greatness isn't about points. It's about what happens on the other side of the ball. And that's what makes his opinion stand out. Payton focuses on mentality, not just dominating, but actively chasing the hardest challenge. Jordan didn't avoid tough matchups. He went straight at them. Night after night, he took on the best perimeter player and made it personal. That's something Payton respects deeply because it mirrors how he played. He gives LeBron full credit for being an all-around force, no doubt about it. But when he has to choose, he always lands in the same spot.
Well, it is true. I think it's a different little era with them too. Michael Jordan always took it to a point that he wanted to guard the best player. Even with myself, even if I start talking trash at him, he would always tell Scottie Pippen, "Look, I'm taking Gary tonight." He would always take the best basketball player on that thing. But I think now in this era, LeBron doesn't want to tire himself out because he does so much on his Cleveland basketball team. It's a difference. Michael Jordan really didn't have a mindset of, I don't care if I do tire myself out, I'm going to go and take this guy because I want to prove to him that I am the better basketball player. I think that LeBron doesn't have that mindset that he wants to do that every night because he knows that he does so much on his team and he has to exert himself so much that he doesn't do.
That two-way mindset, the willingness to take on the toughest job on both ends of the floor. That's what defined Jordan. And for Payton, that's what the GOAT looks like. Ray Allen sees it through a different lens. One word, completeness. He's played with legends, studied the game at the highest level, and knows exactly what separates good from truly elite. When he runs through everything, scoring, passing, defense, clutch moments, work ethic, mental strength, he keeps landing on one name. But his deeper point goes beyond stats.
But playing against him and MJ, I think, for me, it's MJ all day long, only because how I played against him. And, MJ just had everything, from mid-range to three-point to post-up game, and he could score and dominate in each position. LeBron is dominant. LeBron could do so many things on the floor. And
do you think LeBron's a better all-around player than Jordan?
It's hard. That's hard to say because LeBron is probably one of the best passers that the league has seen. MJ is probably the weakest part of his game. He didn't pass a lot, but at the same time, MJ didn't have any other weaknesses in his game.
Jordan didn't just impact games. He changed how entire teams prepared. Opponents weren't just reacting. They were planning for him weeks ahead. Coaches had to redesign strategies, adjust rotations, rethink everything just to deal with one player. That kind of influence doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but it changes the entire league. Coaches had to rethink everything when facing him. Defensive schemes got flipped, strategies got rebuilt, and even teammates had to adjust how they practiced just to keep up. Ray Allen believes Jordan's game would transfer perfectly into today's league. And it's not just about athleticism, because that fades over time. It was his precision, his timing, and that sharp mind that kept evolving every single season. That's what made him so dangerous, always finding new ways to stay ahead. Reggie Miller brings something real to this debate. He didn't just watch from a distance. He went up against both Jordan and LeBron in actual competition. He knows what it feels like when Jordan locks in on you, when you become the target. And he's also been on the other side, trying to figure out how to stop a LeBron-led team.
LeBron has the greatest career.
I say that all the time.
He has the greatest career. Right. But Mike is the best
basketball player ever.
But LeBron has the greatest career, and I think why a lot of old heads want to dog out LeBron is because they were never as good as he is this late in their career.
Right.
And they want to get on him for that.
Yeah.
LeBron, at 22 years in, at 40,
he's got proof from both sides. Reggie is honest about it too. What LeBron has done across 20 years, the consistency, the dominance, being the best player on every team he's played for, that's something the league has never seen before. That kind of longevity is rare, almost unreal. But when he has to answer the question straight up, he leans toward peak over longevity. That version of Jordan, the one that couldn't be stopped, couldn't be shaken, and couldn't be beaten when it mattered most? Reggie says nothing in his career ever matched that feeling. Shaquille O'Neal understands dominance in a different way. He was the most physically overwhelming force the league has ever seen. He knows exactly what it means to walk into a game and have the other team already adjusting because of you. So when Shaq talks about fear, he's not throwing that word around casually. He's lived it, and the line he draws between LeBron and Jordan isn't about talent. He respects everything LeBron brings to the court. But with Jordan, it was deeper than that. It was that heavy feeling before the game even started. Warm-ups, first possession, first bucket. It didn't matter. Jordan created an atmosphere where opponents already felt behind before things even got going. Shaq used fear as a weapon his entire career, and even he admits nobody used it quite like Jordan did. Talent gets you into the GOAT debate, but that aura, that's what keeps you sitting at the very top.
I think the greatest player is Michael Jordan. That's what I think. But
I agree.
LeBron is about to do something that hasn't been done in a long time, and I think he will move his name up there. But for me, it's always Dr. J and Michael Jordan. Magic in those. He's the only man that had me terrified on the court, because I went from high school admiring him, college admiring him, and then he's right there in front of you, and all the shit you see on your poster, like he's doing it in real life. Like he came by me so fast one time, I was like, oh.
Steve Nash looks at the game through pure intelligence. A two-time MVP, the engine behind some of the most efficient offenses ever. He sees basketball from the inside out, starting with the mind, and his take is all about presence.
Charisma on top of all the gifts and skills and mentally, how great he is. I mean, playing against him, the one thing that I think that he was unlike any other player I've ever played against is that there was a real fear playing against him. Like people, I've never seen the league be kind of fearful of a player. And
WGN.
He just had this charisma on top of all the gifts and skills and mentally, how great he is. I mean, playing against him, the one thing that I think that he was unlike any other player I've ever played against is that there was a real fear playing against him. Like people, I've never seen the league be kind of fearful of a player or have that much reverence for a player. No matter who has come since then, that was a different feeling when you're playing Mike, because you just knew, there was such a seriousness and competitiveness. And
the weight Jordan carried into every arena was different. It wasn't just skill. It wasn't just competitiveness. It was how that presence changed everything around him. Opponents prepared differently weeks ahead. Teammates elevated just by being near him. Nash spent his whole career studying how the smartest players think. And from his view, nobody ever combined all those layers at once like Jordan did. Skill, charisma, edge, and complete control of the moment from tip-off. 15 voices, 15 different perspectives on greatness, and still no clean ending to the debate, because it was never meant to have one. Some people focus on killer instinct. Others look at the unmatched career LeBron built over 2 decades. Some measure fear, others measure peak performance. But one thing they all agree on, whether they say it directly or not, there are only 2 players who make this debate this difficult. And that's the real answer. Not a final decision, but an understanding. Greatness like this doesn't show up often. It's once in a generation, if that. And somehow, we got 2. The debate keeps going because basketball is bigger than just one name. It always has been. If you made it this far, don't just sit there. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who's always arguing Jordan versus LeBron. Drop your take in the comments, who you got as the GOAT, and stay locked in. More heat coming your way soon. See you on the next one.